Who did China Grove?
No, dude. China Grove is the Doobie Brothers.
No, that's not Doobie Brothers. You're wrong about that.
China Grove is the song, China Grove.
Yeah. Ooh, China Grove.
Yeah,
That's the fucking Doobie Brothers, bro.
Yeah.
That's the fucking Doobie Brothers.
I don't want to make a bet.
I'll bet you another $100. You already owe me a dinner and.
I owe you $200 and a steak dinner.
Is it legal to bet? Is it legal to bet?
Yes, no one can stop me from betting.
All right.
No, but you can set it up on a prediction market.
Please no.
We can set this up on Kalshi, Polymarket.
Yeah, fucking China Grove was the Doobie Brothers. I mean, where you been, dude?
Where have I been? At work for you.
Okay, well, it's in our district, first off.
China Grove, yes. So is St.
St. Hedwig, China Grove.
Is it the same China Grove?
Lavernia, same China Grove. They were actually leaving a concert in San Antonio on their way to Houston. How they ever saw a sign for China Grove is beyond me.
Right, sure.
I mean, because this was the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So they were looking at a map, presumably, or maybe they got off on Highway 83 over there, whatever it is, 87, 83. And they went up, essentially, Rigsby turns into Highway 83. And 87, I think. Anyway, they must have passed it.
Must have.
And they must have been super stoned. Have you ever listened to the lyrics of China Grove?
No, I just know the Ooh, China Grove.
Yeah, no. It's they're talking about the sheriff and then Chinese samurais or Japanese samurais. Have you ever listened to the lyrics?
No, I've just jammed out to it.
It's a fucking badass song. They must have been high on lots of pot and other things.
Well, they were the Doobie Brothers.
That's true.
That is true.
Badass, fun song. I have no idea what it's about. Maybe someone someday can tell us what. The internet, I don't think, knows what it's about.
Of course it does.
Maybe.
There's a lyrics genius nonsense.
Put it on that chat thing, the chat GPT thing, and they'll tell you.
Yes, let's use AI for this. Let's burn 2 tablespoons of water for this.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
You know, and our people in Texas are really getting fucked over on that.
Speaking of AI, Gemini, Google says, China Grove by the Doobie Brothers is a 1973 rock song about a fictional, quirky Texas town and its wacky sheriff who carries a samurai sword.
I don't know that the sheriff ever carried a samurai sword. That's bullshit.
It wouldn't be a sheriff.
Fictional.
Well, especially because, samurai swords are Japanese, right?
But you lost the bet because it was the Doobie
We
Brothers.
didn't make a bet, man. When I make a bet, it's clear.
You lost.
I lose more and more every day.
Thank you all for joining us for our weekly show, Fortitude, with Roland Gutierrez, where Marty's always wrong. And as smart as he is, he's probably one of the smartest people I know, and yet I beat him on bets over and over and over again. Sometimes they're bets about actual factual things, you know. He's not a Cliff Clavin type. He really knows his shit. But I beat him. And then sometimes it's just hunches, right?
It's just hunches.
We can't get in the last bet because we have other people involved in that, friends and so on and so on. So we're not going to go there.
We have a lot of smart people that are bad bettors, right?
Yes, that is true. Marty is a bad bettor because he always loses.
This is like a Gamblers Anonymous meeting.
Yeah.
So
Here's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to try to get a little closer to the microphone. I thought the sound was pretty bad last time on my part. You sounded great.
it's the first time no one's ever said that, man. So
That was my fault. The recording file got corrupted. So
I can sit back?
You can sit back a little bit. I'll manage the levels over here. But I had to grab them for the webcam.
The sitting back part. Let me see.
To all 50 of our listeners, okay, we have 50. Hey, that's a lot, man.
Are we up to 50 now? Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I thought we were at 15 and 15.
No, 50.
Oh, dude, it's time to do a fake ad for boner pills.
Oh, no, I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're going to do real ads for those things.
For Toyota.
What are we going to talk about today? 3 things, 3 segments. We're going to try to get real disciplined here going forward. Still, a bunch of opinions from 3 dudes that don't know shit. Eventually, we'll have a guest who actually would want to join us and talk some shit with you. But we have a lot of shit to talk about. Number 1, birthright citizenship. Did a little video today on that. Donald Trump's a douche, and we're going to talk about that in great detail. His fucking bullshit move today to sit in the Supreme Court, I guess in some, trying to intimidate. Let's not open it up, but that's what we're going to talk about, trying to intimidate the justices. We're going to talk about Texas school vouchers, Why are we going to talk about that now? Because that shit started, and we're going to talk about who got him and what we said, who we said was going to get him. Everything is proven to be true. Poor families got screwed over again. What a surprise in Texas. And then, lastly, we're going to talk about Greg Abbott, what I like to call El Mataniños, the kid killer, because he kills more kids than any governor in the United States. True story, true facts. And we're going to get to all that. He's like the Marquis de Sade of fucking governors. I don't get along with most Republican governors, but this dude's a real fucking prick. And he is, I don't know. There's no having a beer with this guy with me. I mean, we after Uvalde, we pretty much give each other the old fuck you salute, and that's pretty much the way it's going to be with me with this guy. I think he's worthless. But let's talk in our little monologue here. We've been kind of shooting the shit a little bit about already being a loser in bets.
Solid.
What's the latest, man? Yesterday, this whole Kristi Noem thing is kind of a thing. It's weird.
It's a big thing.
I just want to wish a happy belated Trans Day of Visibility to Brian Noem.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't want to be all Gavin Newsom here because Gavin Newsom, he's been telling the Republicans that they're gay as if it's some kind of insult, calling them out and different things. I mean, we are all about LGBTQ, all of it, right? All those things. And in Gavin's defense, in the governor's defense, they're poking fun at Republicans because God forbid you call any one of them gay or anything like that. The fact is, there's so much hypocrisy in these motherfuckers, and we clearly see it. I am mad and I hate Kristi Noem for so many other things that I think that we really need to talk about because she wasn't fired for those things. She was fired about something else. But what happened with this dude? What was going on, or what has been divulged about Brian Noem?
So as I understand it, he was outed by some sort of like online model or OnlyFans person for being for having like a bimbo fetish. So he would like dress up like as a woman or like a quote. You can't see my air quotes here, but I'm air quoting bimbo to my podcast audience. So he would bimbify himself. He'd blow up balloons and put them in his shirt and take some selfies. It's very bizarre. Now, I'm not anybody to really judge anybody's private life or anything like that. Hey, you do what you got to do. But this person apparently said that
You're a little weird too sometimes. I've seen you.
yeah, I'm a little weird.
I've seen you get weird.
I'll dye my hair. I'll paint my nails, but I'm definitely not getting breast implants. Not anytime soon.
They're faux though. They're like balloons.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like,
No,
it was
they
like
were
a suit.
balloons.
It was like a
It's
suit.
a suit.
It was a suit.
Yeah.
There's like actual
Well, no, he was using the balloon
The nut- the-
thingies as nipples.
the nozzle as the nipples.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Just call it a nozzle.
well, I would usually call it a nipple.
Yeah. And then he paid apparently about $25,000. I don't know if it was to this particular model or to multiple models, but yeah, he paid like $25,000, and then this person.
But for what? Like an extortion or to
No, just
fetish?
just as the fetish, just to like talk to her, like.
Fuck has this kind of money.
They do.
Oh yeah, well I mean yeah, because grifting and from the government. I'm sure all of.
So
Kristi
he's
Noem's
part of this
videos.
grift because I understand. So let's get to what he does for a living because he's in a private world. He's in a regular dude. I understand, but what was his job? What is his career in?
I don't know.
Go Google that shit. I mean, so this guy is not a part of government. His wife is, and clearly they're living some kind of weird fake marriage for whatever reason. They have a couple of 3 kids, I think.
They do. I think she's a grandmother too.
Yeah,
Technically.
we'll keep those kids out of the equation. But this is just fucking weird. And clearly we know that she's been having this affair with Lewandowski. I mean, that's pretty clear.
I think it's confirmed now in the Daily Mail piece. It was confirmed that he knew about it. So
he knows, she probably knows he's doing this weird shit. It's fucking nuts because he's spending presumably family money. Do we know what he does for a living?
Yeah, so turns out he works in the insurance industry and manages a small insurance business.
All right. So how much could you make? A couple $100,000 maybe as the
knows?
insurance manager?
It depends on what the insurance is and whose clientele.
But he was going around dropping like, oh, well, I'm married to a high level government official and stuff like that. So then, like with the last name and everything, it wasn't easy or it wasn't hard for them.
So here's the shit that pisses me off, right? So this lady is crazy. I mean, she does the Botox. This has become more than a monologue. This is now an official segment of our show. So we'll try to keep this short. She does the Botox thing. She does all the costumes, and she does the hard hats and the cowboy hats and all this bullshit. It's funny because the New York Times did a piece on this about how she started this $200 million commercial ad. $200 million. This is your tax dollars. This is your money, people.
Our money.
Yeah. And she goes off and our money. And she hires a friend of hers to do the production of these commercials and to buy the ads and everything else. So along the way, someone, if you're not familiar with ad buys, I could say, hey, Marty has a commercial he wants to air online, and I'm going to go sell it to several networks, and I'm going to get 10 to 15% of that ad buy. And that's how advertising agencies make their money. This lady set all this up so that she and her friend and her friend's husband, boyfriend, whatever he was, could go off and swipe up all this money. They got money for creating the ads, producing the ads, and the ad buys. And none of that shit was really talked about in that hearing. They talked about it a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, I think Senator Kennedy asked about it.
Yeah, and then so the next day Trump fires her because what? What did he say? Why did he fire her? Because she said, the president knew about the ads.
So I think he declined that he didn't know.
Yeah.
But the real reason, I think, is because you don't make money off his name without his permission. And in order to get his permission, he's got to wet his beak a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And so this is the repulsive part because, and so I'm pissed off today. I'm less funny today. I'm never funny at all. Let's be clear. I'm never funny at all.
I take you seriously.
Fuck off, George. Fuck off. I worry sometimes because I'm so angry a lot, and I do these videos, and people come up to you, you say these things, and you speak the truth, and it is, and I appreciate that. I mean, I feel like it's my truth for certain, and I'm mostly angry, and sometimes I wonder, do people take us seriously, or do they take me seriously? Listen, we give it pretty good when we're in the building, when we're in the legislature. We've done great things. We'll have shows to talk about those things. But I think that sometimes people take themselves a bit too seriously, but I think we got to fight back all the fucking time. And this deal right here, this moment, is this woman stole from you, your tax dollars, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And people need to know this.
I mean, I think it was a no-bid contract, too.
Yeah.
And
Tell
I think
people what that means. No bid. It's pretty obvious. But.
It means they didn't have to compete for the bid. It was just selected by whomever made the selection. And I think the company was formed just the week or two before the bidding process. It's
100%.
And it's just heartbreaking when you think about
Two separate companies, by the way.
How much money? I mean, if $200 million to publicize ICE and to scare people, and or to get them to join ICE, or to get them to appreciate Homeland Security, I think could be valuable. It could be valuable. Maybe not at that level, but it could be valuable. But $200 million spent on food stamps, I know is valuable. And
so we cut some pretty badass commercials when we were running for the first United States Senate run. They were pretty good, right? But we were getting them from as cheap as we could from people that said, hey, we're going to give you a deal. We believe in you, blah, blah, blah. And we did the best we could. Some of the stuff we did on our own, clearly, on a poor man's budget. We ended up doing some good stuff on a budget. But I think an ad, like a real commercial, could cost, for production, I don't know, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000.
Sure, 100%. And I mean, ours was a tenth of that, right?
Right. And what did she have? Like, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 commercials?
Fewer, I think. I don't know, because it depends on how you cut them up and all the digital buys, et cetera.
Find them.
So, but it wasn't 20 commercials. Maybe it was
the fucking horse they rented was $20,000.
Right.
So who was in on that deal? right? Who did they rent the horse from? That hasn't even been talked about at all.
And it won't be, right? Because it's so micro, but that's the kind of stuff that sticks with people, you know?
It's the kind of stuff that just sticks with me because a $200 million ad buy, I want to know how much went to the TV networks. If I'm a United States senator worth their salt, if the Republican Kennedy over there in Louisiana had any, brass to him, he'd demand this because his constituents in Louisiana are getting burned in their tax dollars because some crazy lady is taking them for a ride, making a shit ton of money. And instead of actually, so did she make 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 100 million? We don't know.
Sure.
But we could if these senators and congressmen actually did their jobs and scratched at the surface just a little bit, right?
Whatever it was, I'm sure it was in the tens and 20s of millions of dollars. It was worth it.
Yeah. And guess what? This motherfucker Trump, he didn't even fire her. She's still employed.
She is. She's she works for Shield now. I don't know what it is. I can't remember her title.
This fucking Trump idiot, I don't have any words for this guy anymore. I've called him every name in the book. Doofus. He's got this thing, he watches so much fucking TV. I mean, and not the good TV. He doesn't watch any news. He just watches, I don't even think he watches Fox. Probably just to hear himself blather on.
Sure. He calls into Fox.
Right. He calls into Fox, does his own bullshit show. But he must sit there and, eat his McDonald's burger and just watch, movies because everything that he's done. I told you to watch The Siege. Did you ever watch it?
No, I didn't ever watch it.
Is it The Siege with Denzel Washington, Annette Bening, and Bruce Willis? I think that's what it's called.
I think it's The Siege.
Yeah, they fuck with migrants. They put them in housing. They put them in stadiums, and they're going after Arab migrants in that situation, and Muslim migrants. This guy watched it, and this is what he's doing to immigrants across this nation. It's really a shame what's going on right now, and it's our tax dollars, and we should all be very amped up about it because there's a lot happening out there. Christy Noem didn't. Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's what I was trying to remember.
I mean, that would be cool.
It would be cool and a great idea if you did it.
Yeah.
But not this guy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and said, that sounds cool.
That sounds cool.
I need the shield of the Americas now.
Shield of the Americas.
That's what it was.
And so he doesn't fire the lady.
He can't, because I'm sure she's tied into the same corruption that he is.
She's got something on him.
Something. I mean, or Lewandowski does, more likely, right?
Yeah, for sure. They've got something. And they probably still have their fuck plane. I wonder if the plane gets into the museum. We know that he's going to have a plane in the museum. That's all bullshit that the one that he was given is going to go into the museum. That's all horseshit. I'm sure he's going to have some replica made. I'm sure the one that he got from Qatar is going to be flown all over for the rest of his life for him and his family, $400 million.
Sure, you're right.
And now maybe Corey Lewandowski and Christy Noem's fuck plane will be in the Trump library. I wonder how many of these other, secretaries have fuck planes.
Well, it's a non-zero number, I can assure you.
Fuck helicopters.
I mean, I think it'd be hard logistically, but yeah, I'm sure.
I bet you Kash Patel knocks it out in the helicopter with his country singer girlfriend. Man, we've gone on way too long on Christy Noem. We've made her a whole fucking segment. Birthright citizenship. To me, this is a real serious thing. I am the child of immigrants. My father was an immigrant to this country. My mother died when I was very young. She was about 9 months old. She was from the United States. My stepmom is an immigrant. And so clearly, yes, I get it. What he's talking about doesn't quite fit in that mode because my father came in under a farm worker visa program back in the 1950s.
He was a bracero, is that what that was?
He was a bracero, but the visa just said agricultural worker. So
Sure.
Whether it was under the program itself, I think I mentioned this before on this show, they knew a guy. They knew a guy at the United States consulate. He saw these young men and saw that they were very entrepreneurial and they wanted to do something and live their American dream. And probably whoever this dude was in that consulate, America was different. You needed workers. Guess what? We still need them now. This dipshit doesn't realize that we need people to do the work. We need people to do the work. There was a study that said we need how many workers in the United States to do all the dirty work that Americans don't want to do?
I think it was 300,000 at least.
No, bro, it was like 15 million.
But which kind of work are you talking about?
Just ag workers, construction workers, so many jobs. Listen, I mean, I know like construction people get confused, right? I'm not talking about the guy working in a skyscraper, the big Italian-American guy that works in a skyscraper that brings the big, pail boxes to lunch and the big
Mario?
pill box. Mario, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mario would never survive building a house in Arizona or Texas in the summer. There's no, 20-minute lunch breaks. There's no 2-hour lunches. I mean, it is 8 to 7, 8 to 8. I mean, and these folks get abused, and they get abused big time. So anyway, he does this shit today. I mean, you go back to I'm digressing. He goes to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Walks in there. You could see him walking in there. I just heard it on the radio, but I could see this jackass walking in, thinking he's owns the place, right?
Sure.
Probably looking at the columns and the architecture he loves so much.
I mean, have you ever been in the room?
No, but you have.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, we got to talk about that someday.
Yeah. It's a massive room. It feels bigger than it is. It's
Yeah.
just, and on the wall, there's a frieze, of all the lawmakers.
Real quick, Marty argued
I didn't argue it. I helped prepare an
he
argument.
helped prepare an argument on a voting rights case to the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, Perez.
A whole bunch of lawyers, and Marty was on you won.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, but I think we won.
You won-ish.
Yes.
One-ish. Why? Because these fucking Republicans always want to tell you that elections are rigged and all this other crap, and all they do is try to keep us from voting by mail often and doing what we've been doing for so many years without a problem, but all of a sudden, over the last 20 years, it's a problem. And it's a problem because they're losing. In Texas, they want to fuck us more and more. So he goes in today into that very imposing room that you have, I'm sure you admired and enjoyed
It was
being a part of.
a life-changing experience being inside the room when there's an argument. It is almost religious.
Right. So President Dipshit goes in there, probably sits in the front row. You could see that, right?
Sure, of course.
And he just tries to, and he looks, and he's probably, I bet you the prick went off and pointed at the judges that he appointed. I bet you he did it.
He's appointed 3 of them.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I hope that the ones that have showed a little bit of fortitude this last time around on tariffs, I hope that they have some fortitude to understand that this guy is wrong on this issue. But what about the whole notion of, fuck, the sky is burning, diesel's $5.55 a gallon, gas is $4 a gallon. We have no idea with this stupid war he started. People are hurting everywhere at the pump and the healthcare and everything.
Well, I'm sure it could be solved by listening to an oral argument at the Supreme Court. So thank God he did that, right? And I mean, I think that's kind of the theme of this Trump 2.0 is he doesn't care about our lives, our material lives. It's all about his name and what he can extract from the government. So
He's such a prick. He puts his name on the dollar bill now.
yeah, no,
No
it's
president's ever done that.
and there's a reason we haven't done that. It's I mean, I think it's a long time now that we don't treat our presidents like royalty. We actually, in the Constitution, we disclaim royal titles. We don't have kings. We don't have dukes or barons. You know? And whenever someone acts like this, it smacks of royalty. That's what Caesars used to do, is put their face on coins.
Yeah, we're doing this show so you can be real fucking pissed off. You need to be. I've never, ever seen what is happening in this country in my 55 years on earth. The first president I remember was actually Ford. I do not remember Nixon. Never. A bunch of Republicans that from the time I could remember, didn't agree with. Never have I seen anything like this in my life.
So you were 5 when Watergate happened, when the trials happened. Do you remember that at all?
So Carter was elected in '76.
Correct.
And so my first memory is Gerald Ford.
Sure.
That's my first memory. As you know, not as a human being or of life or anything like that.
First political memory.
My first presidential memory, right, was Gerald Ford. I do not remember Nixon. I was alive during Watergate.
Sure, yeah. I just, that hearing is so seminal, right? It even has reverberations in today in terms of like political legacies and people involved in it. It's kind of crazy how many people were involved in the hearings and how it's spread off into the modern political culture that we all grew up in, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And you'll correct me here, because I really think that y'all should look at it. Now, this was actually appointments. Maybe it was Bjork or Robert Bork or something. It was the Barbara Jordan speeches that I thought were amazing. They probably she did do something during Watergate. She said
I think she was on the investigative committee. In the House.
So the stuff. If you get a chance to look at Barbara Jordan on the Watergate hearings,
Yeah, this special committee.
holy shit, you need to go look at those videos. I didn't know the woman, but pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to be, like if you knew what it was to be this American thing, like this notion of being this great American, go look at that woman. She inspires me, to be honest with you. She inspires me just like LBJ inspired me for different reasons. And I think that probably internally she would have been even a far better woman than LBJ was as a human. But LBJ had a lot of flaws.
We all do.
But just the spirit of what he knew, that what justice was and was not. And so did Barbara Jordan. You guys need to watch the Watergate stuff. And then she had another big hearing when it was Robert Bork.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Was it Robert Bork?
Well, it would have been Bork because that would have gone through the Senate, right? Because she was a House member, I think.
So look at these great Americans in history. I mean, hell, even if you, I'm sure who's your best Republican president you can think of in modern times?
In modern times?
Modern times.
Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Made the highway system.
Yeah.
Lectured, or as he's leaving, he says, "Be wary of the military-industrial complex."
Yeah.
He was a pretty normal Republican. I think that when they first started to run in '51 or whatever, people were wondering what party he would be. That's how centrist he was, and so I think he was a pretty normal Republican in that regard, right?
Right. Yeah, no, that's right. A lot of Republicans, who knows who they'd say, but
Born in Texas.
born in Texas, 100%. And so, go look at a guy like that. Go look at this great American, Barbara Jordan, Lyndon Baines Johnson, so many people that are out there, and you see that's what it is to be the best of us, right? But this motherfucker, he's the worst of us.
I mean, he is as corrupt as Warren G. Harding. Right. He's as lying as Nixon ever was. He's as smarmy as, I don't know, James Buchanan. He's as treasonous as Robert E. Lee. I mean...
Well, let's close this off so that people understand the birthright citizenship. He's saying that if you're a migrant and you have a child here, that kid cannot be a citizen.
That's right. Specifically, he's saying that people with temporary status or who are here illegally, those children don't get birthright citizenship. It essentially undermines a case called Amwoke Lee, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a misreading of the 14th Amendment. I think it's also, I think it's dangerous. From my own history, my grandfather was a first-generation Italian-American.
Yeah.
And I don't think we came here legally. And the reason why I don't think we came here legally is because if you go to Ellis Island or if you go to naturalization documents, I can't find them. Now, evidence of absence is not absence of evidence, but I'm not sure that my family came here legally. And so if that's true, if you follow down the chain of citizenship, I'm an American and I have no other place to be. And I also think that highlights a policy problem for lots of people, like Marco Rubio's parents. Marco Rubio is a first-generation Cuban-American.
Yep.
And so I don't know if his parents came here legally. I don't know. I hope they did. I assume that they did. But if they didn't, is he not now an American? And the problem with this is that it'll create a kind of two class systems, one for citizens and one for non-citizens. And that's the most un-American thing I can imagine.
Right. And you're picking winners and losers right off the bat. Who gets to be part of the team? Just like he did the other day, you know, when he first got elected, and he said, said all this horrible migrant shit, and then he brings in like a whole bunch of South African, Dutch, what do they call it? Afrikaners?
Yeah. And they actually can't. Some of them went back because they didn't like being in America. Apparently, that's so.
They said, "Fuck this place." Can you imagine that?
I
Well,
can't.
they also didn't give them any help, right? Like they basically said, "Hey, you can come over here," and then they came over and they're just like, "You're here."
God, gas is expensive.
Yes, they said shit's expensive here, hard to make money. Where's my check? Fuck this, I'm out of here. That's funny. We need to do some research on whatever happened to those. They've been vanquished. They're like lost. They're like the show Lost.
They're literally stateless, right? So they.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they had to abrogate their South African citizenship, but they came here seeking citizenship, protection, asylum,
Yeah.
and now they're like, "Hey, this is worse than that." So
You're right. Maybe. Well, I'm not going to go there. We're not going to do an Israel today.
But that
We're
would-
doing
that's what-
Netanyahu today.
I appreciate it.
Fuck that dick. No, fuck that guy. I'm sorry. This is not about religion, and this is not about Jewish people. This is about Israel and the nation of Israel, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a piece of shit, and he's as crooked as the day is long. And what's happening over there right now is an atrocity that has begun, part and parcel, because of Netanyahu and the influence of AIPAC and so many others.
I'm not sure the PAC has much to do with it. I think it has more to do with compromise and other kinds of levers.
Yeah, but subject for another show some other day, not today. This birthright citizenship stuff, you guys need to watch it. 1 in 3 Texans are sons and daughters of immigrants. You should be very worried about that decision that we'll hear sometime in the summer months. This is certainly, if you think it should be done by Congress. It should be done through constitutional amendment.
Agreed.
And so whatever the fuck that he thinks he's doing through some bullshit executive order, and whatever the fuck the Supreme Court thinks they're doing, is nonsense, because this is a nonsense deal that should be done through Congress and through constitutional amendment, and there's a big process for that. It involves states and ratifications and so much more. You got to go back to your civics class. Not
2/3 of both houses and 3/4 of state legislatures.
There you go. Fair enough. Quick lesson there. Vouchers. Big in the news in Texas. Vouchers are these things where we have over 5 million kids in our public schools. Republicans said, we're going to shoot out $1 billion. $1 billion of Texan taxpayer dollars, your tax dollars, are now going to fund the private educations of only 100,000 kids. So 5 million kids, 100,000 lottery winners. And we said a couple things. We said that the kids that are going to get to benefit are the ones that are already in the schools. We also said, some of us said, I did, that only the white kids were going to get it. That's proven to be true. And what was really proven to be true is that the people that have gotten it now are the kids in the private schools, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they still have to go through the lottery process, but according to Jaden Edison at the Texas Tribune, there were more than 250,000 people who applied as of late March. 45% of those are white, 23% are Hispanic, and 11% are black. Low-income families, defined as a family of 4 earning $66,000 or less per year, made up only 36% of the applicants. So only 1/3 of the people were actually low income. And so for comparison, we can actually compare these numbers. 24% of Texas public school students are white, 54% are Hispanic, 13% are black, and about 60% of public school students are considered low income, defined as a family of 4 earning $61,000 or less annually.
2 things on this thing. We're going to burn right through this voucher thing because we always said it was a scam. Again, this is your money. They're fucking you out of it. Republicans are fucking you out of your money to benefit rich people that run these private schools. Who's that guy out in West Texas that has his own school, the billionaire oil and gas guy?
Yeah, to be more specific, I think. So
You're talking about Ferris
him and
and Wilkes.
Ferris and Wilkes, yeah. Was Ferris what? It was his last name.
fairly.
No, you're thinking guy in Amarillo. Farley's another weird billionaire dude.
Tim Ferriss?
Oh,
The Dunn, Brooks and Dunn.
I'm sorry, no, that's an Australian musician.
Yeah, anyway, those dudes that are running policy in Austin, it's Ferris is one of them.
Oh, Dan and Ferris Wilkes.
Dan and Ferris Wilkes, the Wilkes brothers or something. There you go.
And Tim Dunn.
And Tim Dunn. Thank you. You've heard of these fellas.
I have.
All right. They have a private school.
Did they really?
You don't know that part, do you?
I didn't know that. How to be a lobbyist? Or?
You want to bet?
No.
They run a private school, Marty, and it's a private Christian school. Good on them, right?
Is it just one school or is it a system?
It's like a whole little system, little tiny system.
Well, what's good about that is that the little kids are like oil wells paying off for them in the classroom.
And now they get your public tax money to go pay for their private school bullshit. And that's all this was about. They indoctrinate you with religion. They indoctrinate you with whatever they want. And now your tax dollars, you have to pay for it. And if you think that it's going to stop at that $1 billion and the 100,000 kids, it's going to go on. It's going to go on. They're going to seek to expand it. But they only had, how many seats available, Marty? There's not enough.
There was not enough new seats available. That's why so many people who already have kids in private school applied.
Right.
So just there was, I think, the estimate on the fiscal note was 20,000.
Yeah, they had 20,000 seats potentially available.
Right, and then
And so everybody from within gets brought into the deal. 20,000 new kids, that's it.
the rest go to people who already have kids in private school.
Yeah, it's all horse shit. With your tax dollars. We've talked about it over and over again. We're going to show a clip, two clips about this. We're going to show a clip on an amendment that I put up. The amendment was, over and over again, I kept talking about this amendment. Hey, legislators should not benefit from this deal. And these dudes fought me on this over and over again. So we've got a little clip to show you. It was finally put in the bill, and then it disappeared. Marty's going to explain how it disappeared. Show us the amendment. Show us the clip.
I do have some concerns, but first I do want to thank you for one thing. You incorporated, we had this thing about 4 times last session in different special sessions, and we had a conflict of interest provision that no elected official would be able to utilize this, no state senator, no state representative would be able to use this for their own children or their grandchildren, and you incorporated that into the bill, correct?
That's correct, Senator Gutierrez. It's consistent among the members that they want the recipients, those that need help the most, to be the first eligible, first in line.
That was a good amendment, I thought, so thank you for putting it in there.
There you go. So he gets it into the bill finally. It took us fucking 2 years to be able to do this over and over, and they kept fighting us on it. And then he says, well, then they did a switcheroo. They said, oh, we're going to put this in there so Gutierrez doesn't do his amendment, right? And then, poof, he goes to the House. We pass it. I didn't vote for that shit. They voted it all. And he goes over to the House, and then what happens?
The House strips it out because it was a non-starter for House members, right? They wanted that in the bill specifically, and
Why would they want that in the bill?
because I think they want vouchers. That's why for themselves.
For themselves.
Yeah,
Themselves.
and that's the only reasonable explanation, right?
Right. Sorry, sons of bitches, and I don't care if they know I said that. Those sorry sons of bitches wanted to benefit themselves.
Or they wanted the possibility, right? Because
And you get screwed over. That's a complete conflict of interest. It's bullshit, and it happened. There was another bit in that deal last session where we just had a mass shooting, not a mass shooting, we had a kid go into a school a couple days ago, a private school, maybe a charter, I don't know, some weird thing. Shoots his teacher, shoots himself, right?
Yeah.
That happened in Comal?
Yeah, that happened in Comal ISD.
Comal County, New Braunfels, Texas.
Yeah, he shot the teacher. The teacher is in the hospital right now.
Right.
And then he shot himself. The 15-year-old died. It's very sad all around.
Horrible stuff. But, you know, we've talked around this. We're not going to talk about Uvalde today. Someday we will. It's hard for us to talk about it because we want to have some, you know, we try to keep the stuff light. And Uvalde is very tough for us, for all three of us in this room, because we were so much a part of it, so much a part of suing the state, so much a part of actually seeing all those children pass away. But what became of it after that session was a tremendous, at least, we didn't get any of the gun safety measures we wanted, but we got $100 million for school safety, including funding what's it called, Marty? The school the Commission on
that's what it is.
School Safety, whatever it
School
is.
Safety Commission.
School Safety Commission. All right, some more bullshit. Tests, studies, approvals,
Audits.
what kind of windows and doors you should put in your school,
I mean, that's all very, very valuable.
procedures, strategic stuff, all good stuff, right? So I asked this dude, well, do your private schools have to do with it? What did he have to say about that?
In the no strings attached portion of your back and forth between you and Senator Hall, public schools will not be required in any way to comply with any part of the School Safety Commission's audits, findings, investigations, research, inspectors. In other words, they will not be inspected by the School Safety Commission at all, correct?
No, they'll have to commission their own inspections, and they will be responsible for keeping their own campuses safe.
Is that in the bill?
It's not in the bill, which keeps it status quo that they have to do what they continue to do now.
Nothing.
Nothing.
They don't have to do jack shit. And so in these schools where you're spending $1 billion of your tax dollars to have your kid go through this private school, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything to their rapey priests. They don't have to do a damn thing. I'm sure my priest is going to get mad at me for that comment, but fuck off. Such is life. They don't have to do any school safety stuff.
They don't. And I'm sure the justification is that we shouldn't tell private businesses how to do this, but then don't take our money.
Don't take our fucking money.
Yeah, and even beside to piggyback on that, school safety isn't the only thing that they're not doing. They're not doing transportation. They're not doing special ed. They don't have all of the other programs that, Texas State public schools are required to have for the betterment of the students.
Everybody gets fucked, undoubtedly. All right, last topic here. We got to talk about this a little bit, but I wanted y'all to notice all our cool high-tech stuff. Third show, and we're now doing clips. That's some good shit. We would have done a clip of Trump sitting in the fucking Supreme Court, but they don't actually have it. We'll have to get the drawing next week of him sitting there, probably with a quarter pounder in his hand. There'll be a drawing. There's no clips inside the Supreme Court, right?
It's all drawings.
What's that?
It's all drawings, yeah.
All drawings. We wanted to have a little fun with this because I woke up in the middle of the night about 3:30 in the morning, and I had this epiphany that Greg Abbott is, in Spanish, el Mataniños, the kid killer. I know, it's not fair.
Sounds right.
It is true. He's killed more kids than most governors in the state of Texas and probably in the United States. Oh, he didn't kill them. That's your response. He didn't kill the kids in Uvalde. Somebody else did.
We're all responsible for what happened in Uvalde. Every single Texan, every single one of us is responsible for Uvalde.
But he gave his whole big, hero story. That didn't happen. Those cops, that money that was spent, billions and billions of dollars of DPS, troopers and training that went to shit because they never trained with those communities down in South Texas. Poor communities don't get to train with the Department of Public Safety. The Department of Public Safety takes care of every criminal scene in these small counties, and they didn't do shit. And that was the billions of border security money that he spent down there, and they didn't do shit. And those kids died because cops were cowards. Because they were cowards. Mm-hmm. They said in the hallways, what did they say? One of them said what?
Mind the funnel, meaning the AR-15's funnel, right? Watch your eye line or watch your shooting line.
One of them said, I don't want to get clapped out today.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, he said it actually outside the building.
Outside the building, he was looking in the window.
I'm not looking to get clapped out today.
Yeah, those kids weren't looking to die either. Listen, a whole lot of cowardice. Should we put it on Greg Abbott? Maybe not. But we spent billions of dollars on shitty training, shitty radios, shitty communications, shitty radio towers, shitty emergency response. At some point, you have to be able, the buck stops here, right?
No, for sure.
Who said that, Truman?
Yes.
All right, the buck stops here except for Greg Abbott, right? And so then one of my donors, I get donors from all sorts of people, right? I go into somebody, doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I'm not going to say who, because they said I politicized Kerrville. Kerrville was when those poor kids died, camping, with the flood. we get in there and someone said, I'm politicizing this thing because I'm saying that this is on Greg Abbott's watch and it's his fault. Well, he didn't kill the kids. It was some rain. I get all that. Well, goddamn. I mean,
It's a policy failure. Whatever it was a policy failure.
All we needed was bullhorns and water gauges on bridges and roadways. This is technology that they have in Ohio, in Mississippi, in states in Indiana and Illinois. And this piece of shit can't go off, and you have small counties that can't afford these types of things in rivers that are prone to flooding, where they have camps. He can't think to himself, well, how do I stop this from happening?
Sure.
And a Republican legislature that would rather give money to a bunch of cops on the border to roust migrants than to do what needs to get done. So you're goddamn right I'm pissed. You're goddamn right I'm mad. Little boy died in 24, maybe 23. His name was Ulysses something or other. I thought, what a cool first name. He's a Hispanic kid. 5 years old in Bastrop, Texas. He was on a bus. The bus got in an accident. They went to go they went to the zoo on his field trip. And poor Ulysses was a kid that died. He didn't have a seatbelt on, but there was no seatbelts on the bus. Because in Texas, Republican policymakers didn't want to put seatbelts on the older buses. And Ulysses is gone because of that. And here's the Marquis de Sade part. This is where he killed countless kids. And this is where he did kill them directly. And I don't think, and the reason this came to mind the other day, because I'm so pissed off at this migrant situation that's happening every day in our lives, every moment. And this motherfucker thinks one day, a few years back, I think it's a good idea to put buoys in the river with razor blades underneath the water on those buoys. And he thinks this is some great fucking policy measure to maim people, to drown people, and countless people died and nobody gave a shit because they weren't Americans. It didn't affect them at home. There was just some migrant crossing a river looking for a dream. You guys remember this?
I do. It was, what's stunning to me about that is, I understand the policy, right? I understand that you want to prevent migration, illegal migration. I understand that. But to do it in that way, what the buoys were designed to do was to make it impossible to pass through. So you were forcing people into deeper water, and they would get tired and they would drown. That was the purpose of the buoy, right? I can't imagine a colder way to do that.
So I joke, Marquis de Sade, you're a sick motherfucker, Greg Abbott. You're sick. It took a DPS emergency responder, a medic, to call you out and to say this isn't godly. That's what he said.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. They disappeared that dude. I've never heard from him. I asked one of the DPS higher-ups, so what happened to that guy? Oh, we don't know. He's gone. He's on the lost plane. If you're ever out there, whoever you are, your name was mentioned in some article. He said this isn't godly. Yeah, those kids are on you, Greg Abbott. A mother died trying to save one child. She had two. And trying to save that child, the child that she thought that she'd secured, that child died, and the mother died. Countless migrants were cut up and mangled with the razor blades underneath the water. Who the fuck thinks of these things? This isn't about policy. This is about humanity. And so we're coming up on an election, and I wanted to talk about that. Because finally, people are saying, yeah, this immigration stuff's not so cool, what they're doing. We tend to forget about, we saw Renee Good die. She rest in peace. Alex Preddy die. We tend to forget about the hundreds, it's at least in the 10s and 20s now, that have died in this recent ICE raids that have happened. There's a little child that's sick right now, deathly sick, just south of San Antonio. And so it's easy for us to say that inhumanity is Donald Trump's inhumanity, but no, this is Greg Abbott's inhumanity. And you sick son of a bitch. And I get it. He's going to run more people against me like he has in the past. He's going to put more money against me. You know, I don't give a shit. I'm not here for money or for anything. We don't get paid. I'm here to tell the truth. And you hurt my people. You hurt brown people. You hurt people. You've allowed people that have murdered people to get out of prison. He pardoned some dude who murdered someone on the streets of Austin.
Mm-hmm. He did.
That is the governor of Texas, the fucking Marquis de Sade. I don't know what made him this fucked up. I know you like to opine. We're not going to talk about it today. But Rick Perry was a jovial fella.
He was.
I disagreed with him on most things. But he wasn't inhuman. George W. Bush, I disagreed with him on everything. But he wasn't. He's probably inhuman on the stuff that he did in Iraq and Afghanistan. But, okay, it's war and all this other shit, and we're at it again. But when he was governor, he wasn't inhuman. This motherfucker is inhumane. And Latinos, you need to understand that. You need to wake your eyes up. Open your eyes. These people are not your friends. They never were. They never had your back. You need to get out and vote because they're going after your abuelitas, your abuelitos, your tíos, your tías, your cousins, your primas, your primos. They're going after all of them. I had an employee today whose children were stopped and asked for their papers. Today. This is not America. And these people have never had your back. These Republicans only care about Republican money and power. It's usually white power. And we're not included in their thing. And Donald Trump wants to deport all of us. So you better snap. For those of you that voted in the other direction, you better figure it out that economically he's fucked you. He has screwed you over on just about everything. These Republicans have screwed you on opportunity in the legislature, in contracting, and so much more. And those of you that don't vote, well, you better fucking vote. You better fucking vote. I talked to a young lady at Bill Miller's today. I said, do you vote? She said, well, I don't know. I don't really know about these things. I said, this is affecting you every day. So you better learn. You better vote. And you better get rid of these people that want to get rid of you. I want to thank you all for joining us today on Fortitude. My name is Roland Gutierrez, always serving you as your Texas Senator here in Texas. Look forward to seeing you next week.